I like to thank the grace of heaven, the virtues of the masters, and the compassion and mercy of grand predecessors, senior transmitters, lecturers, temple hosts, everyone for giving me this opportunity today to talk about today's topic, which is establishing an outlook on life of a Tao cultivator. Okay. Okay. All right. So, since humankind has been in this world, right? I mean, since humans have existed in this world, right? We came into this world, but only for a certain period of time, right? Okay, the length varies, right? Some live long, some live short, right? So this is what we call what we consider, right? Everybody would agree that this is what we call life or existence, right? Okay, now. But how we live this life, or this existence, it's up to us, right? It's up to us, right? Okay. So for some time, for some, okay, the going gets better, as they after they were born, right? As they grow up, etc. As they either have families or whatever, okay, for some, right? So we call this, well, at least in Chinese, I mean, it's an idiom, really. It's really an idiom, okay? A healthy and dignified great path, Tao road, okay? It's an idiom, means broad and open road, okay? So that means it's not that life is easy. It just means that it's always, there are always, brighter days ahead, like better prospects, throughout life, okay? All right, now, on the opposite of the spectrum, okay, for some, life gets more difficult, right? Okay, all right. So those are the two extreme ends, okay? So some life is smooth, easy, open road. It's like an open road, easy sailing, smooth sailing. Okay, all right. Then the opposite is that life is difficult. Okay, it's tough. It seems that it's like to the extreme. It's like hell on earth, for them, or really, really bad. Okay, all right. So we call this a difficult and bumpy road. It's another idiom. It's narrow and winding path, road, whatever. Okay, all right. It's twisted, winding. So this term really means the intestines of a sheep or goat. Okay, anyway, so we may even call it a dead end road. I mean, that's another idiom, but that's it's like really, really, really the bottom. Okay, so it's like almost like it's like life is not, it's like hell. It's like not worth living. Okay, so we have these two extremes. All right. Okay, now, given that those are the two two overall possible, two extremes of possible, and everything in between, right? Okay, now, but however, in society, as society or civilization, human civilization has progressed, scientifically, or knowledge, we increase our knowledge, et cetera, okay. There's some interesting, how can I say, dichotomies, or some, I don't want to say like contradictions, okay. So we call it abnormal states emerge. Okay, for example, okay, and I gave 7 examples, I believe there, or 6, 7, but 6. Okay, but anyway, third example. Okay, so like for example, our buildings, our mansions, buildings, are taller and taller, get taller and taller, right? I mean, yeah, right. I mean, since if you want to go to the Bible, or ancient Egypt, the pyramids, right? I mean, that's an imposing structure, right? Or even go I said before that, the Tower of Babel, right? I mean, all that stuff. Okay, the 7 wonders of the world, all that stuff. Okay, I mean, as technology, and look at today. I mean, we know in the U.S. you have the Empire State Building, then that's eclipsed by the World Trade Center, and now the Liberty, whatever tower, whatever. But then in Abu Dhabi they have the what called the that I forgot the name of it. It's a huge, it's a tall tower. It's like really tall. It's really tall. Okay, so but okay, so all because of science, advance in architectural engineering, etc. Okay, yeah, but at the same time, our spiritual halls or palaces, I mean, that's a literal translation, are more and more lower. It just means that our spirituality, has declined, Okay, so that's a contradiction, right? I mean, it's like, okay, our high-speed highways are broad and broader, more broad and broad, right? They get bigger, longer, wider, whatever. But our aspirations are outlook become more and more narrow. Okay, yeah, it seems that we're a little bit less optimistic. Less of the future. Okay, all right, okay. We well, at least for the U.S. and most industrial or developed countries, we have more money. We earn more. Well, maybe that's not the case for some, but we earn more and more money, so we can spend more and more money, right? We have more money to spend. That's another way of saying, compared to, let's say, I don't know, even 100 years ago. Okay, definitely 1,000 years ago. Okay, anyway, all right, okay, but yet we are less and less happy. So that's kind of like a contradiction, right? Okay, anyway, okay, and same time, oh, we a lot of people, we speak so much about virtues and morality, right? I mean, yeah, we do. I mean, yeah, we do. Yet we perform too few good deeds. We don't walk the talk, right? We only talk about, yeah, it's nice to be virtuous, it's nice to have morality, but yet, so few of them are done. I mean, that's not to say that there are no people that do it, but as a whole, I'm talking as a whole. Okay, okay. We learned how to survive, how to exist. We have, because of all this advances in science, agriculture, right? I mean, 3,000 years ago, 1 acre of land could only feed, X number of people. Today, 1 acre of land could feed, thousands, if not more, whatever. So we learn, okay, and we learn how to, build better buildings, whatever, all that stuff, okay. Yet, since the beginning of time of human civilization, we still do not understand what the meaning of life is. Okay, and scientific. Now, this is the science part, right? We have the ability to split the atom, or even fuse the atom, right? Yet we have no means to eliminate prejudice and pride. Yeah, that's the human factor, right? We still can't eliminate, pride, prejudice. I mean, not just that, poverty, okay, whatever, okay, anyway, et cetera, okay, et cetera, okay, hunger, starvation, okay, all right, okay. So in the end, why have these issues arisen? This is all because our values have been distorted or twisted. Our mind, spirit, our spiritual nature have also been contaminated by improper thoughts, or literally means garbage, but it just means trash thoughts. Just not correct or wrong, distorted, twisted, whatever you want to call it. Okay, all right. So how do we get rid of these improper, garbage, twisted thoughts to leave this complete to leave or to change this completely misleading type of journey of life, to not to come into this world in vain? Then we need to establish a Tao cultivator's outlook in life. Because that's the intro. Okay, so what is the Tao cultivator's outlook in life? So the outlook on life is a view, an attitude that people maintain in dealing with their lives and other matters. I mean, that's in general. I mean, that's very broad. Okay, right? Okay, that's generally what it is. Okay, that the key is that view and attitude, and then also the way we deal with, and therefore it follows the way you deal with those matters. Okay, all right. So now, what's important for the Tao cultivators is that we must have a positive outlook on life. I can't stress it enough. Yeah, you have to have a positive, and there's a reason why. We'll talk about a little bit later. All right. Okay. Okay. And we have to use positive, proper attitudes to face all of life's questions. Okay. Or, issues. Okay. So we can't be negative. Okay. Number one, we should not be negative. Okay. We should adapt it. And then it becomes more, we should have optimism, okay. And then with this type of conviction and attitude, positive, optimistic, okay, then it is possible to sustain, to get us through the roller coaster ride that life is, okay? The ups and downs of life experiences, okay? Because guarantee you, even the richest person, the most powerful person, the most famous person, they will have ups and downs too, okay? All right, they're all gonna get sick, right? Eventually, we're all gonna die, but before that, okay, since we're talking about life, right? Okay, not death, but we're all gonna experience something, right? It's because we are in this dualistic world, yin and yang, right? There's no only positives, okay, or only good stuff, okay? All right. So moreover, this allows there will be there's room, capacity, we say leisurely, but easy, smooth, easier, okay, plentiful to consider and deal with all kinds of life's conditions. Okay, so by maintaining a positive, you have more options. If you have a positive and optimistic view and attitude in dealing with things, you have more options. If you're negative and pessimistic, you have very little. You're like in a corner, right? You're between a rock and a hard place, right? So that's the reason why. Okay, all right. So the conviction of positive outlook needs to be transformed inwardly. Okay, so the previous point I'm talking is general, about external matters more or less, but then there's a mental part. I mean, there's an internal part, mental part. Okay, we have to, how can I say, we have to transform inwardly all our bad habits. Okay, we have to root it out. We have to reveal it. Number one, first of all, if you don't recognize that you have bad, either bad thoughts, bad attitudes, bad temper, or whatever, right? You're never going to change them. It's never going to be recognized. So we have to see that. Okay. So the only way to transform those, our inner, faults, bad qualities, if you will, it requires persistent reminding and training of oneself. So that's going to lead to, some of the points that we're going to say later. Okay. Now, Buddha said that one must have proper understanding and proper views, then one will not become lost. Now that's in his very first teaching to his 5 disciples after he attained enlightenment. Well, to people anyway. I mean, he made a teaching to celestial beings, but that's different. But anyway, so it's the Eightfold Path. That's the first one. 正念, proper 正念正见. Yeah, it's proper views, proper thoughts. 正见, it's 正见正念. That's the first two. Okay, it just means proper view, proper understanding, etc. Okay, proper thoughts. Okay, that's it. All right. Okay, so that's from the Eightfold Path. Okay, all right. So let us go to what are these views. Okay, so that's what the outlook is, right? That's it. Okay, so we say to cultivate Tao is to cultivate a life of positive, healthy, we say positive, and dignified great path, or Tao. Okay, all right. So how are we able to let ourselves travel a journey of life that is more and more broader? That's broad, to truly become a healthy, to have that journey, that trip, become a healthy and dignified great path. Okay, actually, it's not difficult. Yeah, I mean, that's, if you really understand the Tao, then you can say, yeah, that's not difficult. Just like Buddha, right? Okay, so one just needs to emphasize one's self-cultivation, spiritual. Yeah, that's the key. It's self-cultivation. A lot of it is self-cultivation. I mean, obviously, but you have to have a proper mindset. But that's what the cultivation will point us toward. Okay, so now most important is to deal though with the hindrances, obstacles of developing one's self-nature, and that's where the most people, they want to have a healthy and dignified great path, right? No, who doesn't, right? But they don't know how to deal with the obstacles, or they don't realize, that they have obstacles that they cannot, that if they don't change it, if they don't acknowledge it, if they don't change it, they will never attain that goal. Okay, all right. So the key is, how do we deal with the hindrances of development? So that's, you're gonna repeat, you're gonna hear, just like in the first year class, we talk about the 3 poisons and all that. It's that. Those are the hindrances. Those are, the 4, the 4 images. Yeah, 4 images of existence, the ego and all that stuff. Okay, all right, okay. Pride, all that, prejudice, that's fine. Okay, all right. Now, but then, what are those hindrances? What are those hindrances? Okay, the four, these are the big major factors. I mean, there are a whole bunch, but this is the basic, if you will. Okay, the most basic. Okay, so these are the four factors that influence interpersonal relations. They must be, uncovered. That means acknowledged. You have to recognize that, and then you have to correct them. Okay, so what are the four factors? This is it. You hear about it all the time, right? We're going to hear about it all the time. Okay, bad temper, bad habits, faults, selfishness, selfish motives, biases, prejudices. That's it. Okay, so we all say, hey, what's cultivating the Tao? The most basic is this. 改毛病去脾气. Okay, just do that, and then comes, so that's that's that. Okay, as a matter of fact, bad temper is one of the three poisons, right? Depending on which order, but usually it's the second one, right? 憎, right? 憎 means rage, anger. Yeah. Okay. All right. And selfishness is part of the ego, right? The ego, the first of the four marks of existence, 四象, okay? 我相, that's what it is. And then we have biases, okay? And that's basically prejudices. Now, a lot of the prejudice, unlike these three, okay, the first three, really is learned. It's due to ignorance. Let's just do that. It's due to ignorance. Prejudices, I mean, and psychologists have done, experiments. They bring a bunch of young babies, of all backgrounds, whatever, different colors, whatever. And then they get along pretty well. I mean, they're just babies. They don't know any better. But as they go older, if you bring, teenagers, young adults in, then you're going to see biases and prejudices because that's learned. They pick it up, right? Through, either through their parents, friends, society, etc., etc. Okay, right? 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 Okay. So these two, I mean, well, even bad habits, it's really, you can say it's learned. Okay, it's learned. Okay, it's due to the way maybe we live, or it's ignorance too. But anyway, all right, okay, all right. So now, if the world is a Tao community, then we are here really just to cultivate and practice, to cultivate our inner virtues and to practice external merits. Okay, so what is cultivate? It's to change. And what is to practice? It's to perform, to do. Okay, then when do we change? When do we cultivate? When we see evil, we change it. Okay, when do we perform? When, where? I mean, that doesn't. When we see goodness, then we perform. Now this is only one half of the Eightfold Paths proper efforts. Okay, number 6. Okay, it's the 4 proper efforts or vigorous efforts. Okay, whatever. But that's it. Okay, so there's an ancient Buddhist saying that said, "Do no evil." Then that's called cultivation. Perform good deeds for multitudes. That's called practice. Okay, all right. So thus, to cultivate, practice, we must correct our bad temper, get rid of bad habits, let go of selfishness and prejudices. Okay, all right. So the second half, I mean, the next aspect, part of sorry, the next part of how do we how do we have this proper understanding and proper view? Okay, is to cultivate a life that is cultivate a life with a gentle, moderate, and peaceful path, the Tao. Okay, I mean, it just means peaceful, harmonious, all that stuff. Okay, all right. So there are two components. The first one is this: we have to be even temper and tranquil. Okay, so this addresses part of that temper, bad temper too, rage. Okay, all right, because if you are even temper, tranquil, it's less likely, you're going to, fly into a rage. Okay, right? Less likely. Okay, it's less likely. Okay, so but the key is, if you want to be even temper and tranquil, then we have to cultivate our mind. There are two parts to that, to your mind and your nature. That is cultivating the mind and refinement of the nature. Okay, so that's a lot of details, but because of time, I can't. I'm not gonna go through this. I mean, it's taken up in other classes, like the 4 courses of study. okay, 四课门, okay, they cover part of that, okay. Anyway, all right, okay. So what it cultivate corrects in cultivating the mind means to transform bad temper and bad habits, okay. So that's the mind part, okay. Now, what's the nature aspect is refinement as to temper oneself is to refine one's nature to be near people, to do more, to accept more tempering of others. That's like, to have, the sixth parameter, I think it's the second one, okay, 忍辱, it means to forbearance, to stick it to endure, no matter, whatever, no matter if people ridicule you, curse at you, scorn you, disrespect you, all that. Okay, so that's called refinement. Okay, that's called refinement. I mean, if you don't refine, I mean, obviously, if you can't endure that, you're gonna fly into a rage, right? You're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get even, right? So that's okay. That's now. This is all in line with following the spirit of Maitreya. This is one of his well-known phrases. Okay, I don't know if the translation does justice, but anyway, whatever. It's a large belly, because Maitreya has a big belly. Okay, a large belly, able to tolerate, to resolve however much the world matters, or problems, issues, whatever. A heart filled joy, laughing away the world's worries then and now. Yeah, that's so that's the embodiment of just what we just talked about, right? He is very even tempered, very tranquil. I mean, mild, gentle. He doesn't fly into a rage, and he's laughing away at the world's right. That means he's very positive, very optimistic. He can resolve. He's a large ability to tolerate, to resolve. So that's optimism, right? That's optimism, isn't it? That's a positive attitude, extremely positive, right? I mean, extremely. People might say it's naive. They say, holy cow, but it is, okay? Anyway, all right, okay. Now, the other part of the two components of this gentle, moderate, peaceful life, okay, the second half is we must do this. We must have a mind of gratitude. We must. This is why whenever we come to give a class, we all say what? The very first phrase, 感恩天恩师德. 感恩, that means that's gratitude. 感恩, that's right here. That's right here. To show gratitude, okay? That also proves that you are humble. Shows that you're not arrogant, okay? Because okay, all right, okay, all right. So there are so many things to be grateful in life. All of these. I mean, and more. I mean, so, let's start from the grandest of the grandest. Gratitude for the grace of heaven's cover. I mean, we say the sky. That's the overall, that it gives us rain, protects us from the, solar radiation, all that stuff, cosmic rays, all that stuff, ultraviolet rays, all that. And what the earth holds. The earth, what? Contains what? Fertile plains and valleys, rivers and lakes, oceans, where and trees and stuff where we can grow, things, find shelter, etc. All right, okay. And gratitude for the grace of the shining sun and illuminating moon. Very poetic, very nice, right? Without the sun, life cannot exist, right? On Earth, right, or any planet, right? And the sun illuminates the darkness, right? So anyway, all right, okay. Gratitude for the grace of upbringing by our parents. Now we're getting narrower now, to human relationships. Now it's our family, right? Our parents. Gratitude for the grace of teaching by our teachers, right? And gratitude for the grace of learning from friends, right? And everywhere there's grace. All right. So anyway, okay. All right. Oh God, I don't have time. Okay. So one of the most important gratitude to express, so, is to our parents. Okay, in form of filial piety. Okay. So I don't want to, because that's a separate topic. In Dharma class, you can hear about in order to be grateful, we must perform filial piety. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, there's a saying that if one does not requite to pay back, 应该是就是不报 to requite grace is not a superior person. Being grateful and seeking to repay a kindness is an upright or righteous person. Okay, so we understand we have to be grateful, to have gratitude, but then we also have to requite that grace. Okay, requite that gratitude. Okay, all right, or that grace. Okay, so we must be grateful for all the people, all matters and objects. Only then can we preserve or maintain lasting harmony with heaven, earth, and mirrored things. Okay, All right, all things. Okay, all right. So we must have gratitude. Okay, all right. Okay, now the third part of what's the proper view and that is cultivating the Tao is to cultivate the Tao of returning to the natural state of the holy way. I mean, basically to one's true self, to your Buddha nature. I mean, to put it very simply. Okay, so that means we have to cultivate our moral character in accordance with the Tao. Okay, not to anything else, but with the Tao. Okay, in accordance with the Tao. To cultivate with benevolence, humanity, you can say conscience with conscience. Okay, all right. Now, humans, after we enter this material realm, unfortunately, we tend to have a lot of thoughts, a lot of consideration. We like to, think about a lot of things, even, whatever, useless things. But anyway, and that will lead us to nonstop greed, rage, and ignorance. Okay, eventually. I mean, there are a lot of steps, but anyway, okay, all right. So without cultivation or precepts and norms, then avarice, greed knows no bonds. Okay, that's an idiom. This is an idiom. Okay, all right. Now, in the end, that will bring us shame and ruin. Okay, and that's another idiom. Okay, all right. So it just means we have to cultivate properly. Okay, cultivate properly, and not have these obstacles get in the way. Okay, so while cultivating properly, we can cleanse our mind and be free from worries. To borrow the false and cultivate the true. I mean, that's not a good translation, but basically to borrow the physical body and cultivate the true Tao, or the truth, okay, or our true nature, okay, or our true self. To return to the natural original nature. That's what we were in our pure state, in a pure tranquil state, right? This is to cultivate the Tao of holy worthies of the sages, Buddhas, etc. Okay, immortal. Okay, now, so why does one need to establish an outlook of life, of a Tao cultivator? Why? Why do we need it? Well, I think there's like 3 parts. Okay, all right. So cultivating Tao. See my place here. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let's go to the very basic. So it's on the Great Learning, the preface, paragraph 6. It says, this is a translation by using James Lake. It's not the best, but it's good enough. From the Son of Heaven down to the mass of the people, all must consider the cultivation of the person. That's the root of everything besides. It just means that it's the most fundamental. Even from the Son of Heaven, which is the emperor, the king, the emperor, down to the lowest person, lowest level of human being, all of us must consider the cultivation of the person, of oneself. Okay, that's the root, that's the foundation of everything, of being a human. Okay, and also in Doctrine of the Name, right? Okay, we say the path may not be left for an instant. If it could be left, it would not be the path. So that's the path of Tao cultivation. Okay, now actually we are really close. Sorry, we are actually closely bound to Tao, even though we don't realize it. Okay, and why is that? Because we all have a, to make a short answer, we all have a Buddha nature. Okay, we all have this nature that's bestowed to us, right, by heaven, God, etc., by the Tao. Okay, so cultivating Tao is to cultivate oneself as the foundation. After cultivating oneself, and why is the foundation? Because once you could become, like close, enlightened, or at least, at a path towards enlightenment, that times you cultivate yourself very well, right? Okay, then you can families, then you can help out your family, then you can regulate. We say it says regulate. It just means that you can deal, with your family. Okay, I mean you can, okay, deal with family well. Okay, deal, I don't want to say raise the family well, but anyway, you can handle family matters very well. Okay, without getting divorced and all that, split the family, all that stuff. Okay, so after the families then are well regulated, you can say are happy, are peaceful, harmonious. Maybe that's a better term, harmonious. Okay, then the countries are properly governed. Then society, well, there's a skip, there's a step here. Society and nations then will become properly governed. And after the nations are properly governed, then the world is tranquil and happy, right? Okay, so that's part of the 8, got the 8 Ba Mu, the 8 the 8, I forgot what that 8 objectives, whatever. Okay, all right, okay, that's from the great learning. Okay, all right. Then we can also, why do we need? Okay, we also need to cultivate. Okay, to change. Why do we need to establish a life outlook on life over cultivate? Because we can change our destiny. Cultivating Tao is just to correct. It's true. It's just to essentially, right? The very basic. Remember the 4 factors is to correct or get rid of our bad habits, right, and bad temper. But what happened is that when we do that, that means our thoughts will be correct, will be proper, right? Remember the garbage thoughts, the twisted thoughts, distorted thoughts, the wrong thoughts, whatever, improper thoughts. Then our thoughts become, well, habits. Habits will become to character, and character will turn destiny. Get it? So that's the process. All right. Okay. So cultivating Tao is just it's also to change our way of thinking. Remember that view or attitude to perfect our moral character by cultivating and maintaining the direction of Tao, the holy worthies, the Buddha saints, etc. Getting rid of bad habits, regulating our character. This direction can change our destiny. Okay. So we have stories, right? The 7 Taoist masters, etc. All those stories of people who change their way of thinking. It's just their viewpoint, their state of mind, and that was able to change their destiny. Okay, all right, okay. So then the third reason, big reason, is that by cultivating oneself, we can ferry people, we can perform merits, we can establish virtue, we can be awakened and see our own Buddha nature. That's basically enlightenment. Okay, so cultivating Tao is to ferry oneself internally, right, wherever you do it, but also externally, you ferry others. You help others. So to rectify oneself, develop others in the Tao community, we perform merits and establish virtue. The Platform Sutra said to see one's nature is merit. Treating others equally is virtue. So merit and virtue are within one's self-nature. The Holy Teacher also said, while cultivating oneself and ferrying people, one sees one's self-nature Buddha, our own Buddha. Okay, so that's why. All right, now, so how to establish an outlook, okay, of life on a Tao? There are like 7 parts. I have a lot. Okay, so first one is cultivating Tao requires the understanding self-introspection. We have to have that, and genuine or sincere learning and study. It has to be true learning. Okay, that's what we call true learning, not just whatever listening, online or whatever, watching a TV show and stuff like that. That's not real learning. But anyway. Okay, actually, what I meant by real learning, we'll see. We'll have time. Okay, let's the first part is there's a thing called 3 self-reflections or introspections, right? Right? We know about that, right? So I don't need that. Similarly, there's the 4 taboos of Yang Hui, right? The 4 si wu, right? The 4 no's, right? See no evil, hear no evil, speak no, do no evil. Okay, so self-introspection is what the Heart Sutra called to observe or contemplate or ponder one's true nature. I mean, literally, the 观自在菩萨, it means, literally, it means liberated bodhisattva. Yeah, it's your Buddha nature. It means when you can do self-introspection well, you literally will see your Buddha nature. I mean, that's the highest level, okay? Because you're one with that. Okay, all right. Okay, so all the above are to constantly examine ourselves. If we discover our errors, we must immediately correct our steps by correcting errors and following virtue. So genuine learning, since that means we learn, after we learn something, we actually put into practice. So this kind of learning would be, okay, so that's similar to this, right? That's called genuine learning. Okay, all right, you put into practice. Okay, all right. So, you walk the talk or whatever, walk the lesson. Okay, all right. Okay, that's right. Okay, now, the second one, second of the 7 hows is recalling that requires choosing what is good and holding fast to it. Yeah, so now, this okay. Okay, so before we hold fast to something, before we clean it and not let go, okay, we need to choose, right? Before we, because we can hold, because before we hold anything, we have to choose something, right? Okay. So, but if we don't choose, if we just, especially, if we, it's just to choose to not choose good, but it just means, yeah, this is a little bit more specific. Basically, if you don't choose, especially the good, in the West, it's being stubborn because you say, oh, I don't want to choose. Then that's being stubborn. Then that it becomes easy to fall into extremes. Okay, that's because you have to choose, right? You have to, well, the idea is to choose the middle way. Okay. That's the wiser choice. Okay. If you choose, but if you just choose randomly, okay, and not choose, it's easy. You could potentially fall into extremes. Okay. So we have to be careful. All right. Okay. So like I said, after you choosing something that's good, hopefully, like the middle path. Okay. That's what the Eightfold Path is. Okay. So that they call it also, that's called the middle path. But anyway, then we firmly grasp and stick to it. Okay. So always bear that in mind to persevere and put it into practice diligently. This is the truly choosing what is good and holy fact. That's what it means. Okay. To choose what is good and to really not deviate from it. Okay. So that's another way of saying. All right. Okay. Now, so how do we choose? I mean, that's really that's the key, right? Because maybe there's so many choices out there. So what's the right choice? Okay, so that requires wisdom. So achieving clarity is wisdom. That's what this is in Tao Te Ching. It's also said that, and that is to choose. So when we say choose, it means you have to apply your wisdom. You have to have clarity of mind. You have to see clearly. Now, how do we get there? We'll talk about that a little bit below. So achieving oneself and others is benevolence. Okay, that's called goodness. So that means what you want to choose is you have to have wisdom. It's to choose wisdom. You can say that way, and to help others. Okay, that's the goodness part. Okay, and nonstop or continuous utmost sincerity becomes longevity. Okay, and that is called courage. That's to hold fast. So remember, we said to hold fast, just stick to it, to don't depart from it, don't abandon it. Because why? Because a lot of times, what are the reasons why we don't stick to it, or we don't? Because we find, it's not working, or we have challenges, obstacles, tests, trials, whatever. Okay. But if you stick to it, hold fast to it, that's called courage. And that's called longevity. That's called enduring. That's called enduring. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, to choose is it's discernment. That you have to make, 判断, they say, to make a determination. So that's, another interpretation to make a judgment. But yeah, in a sense, it is a type of judgment. But anyway, but not in the negative sense. Okay. But anyway, wanting to choose what is correct, though, that's what the determination, the judgment should be. And to determine without error, then it requires, however, a high level of wisdom. That's why we need wisdom. Okay. That's why we need to cultivate. Okay. All right. Now, here's the good part. How to gain such wisdom? By constant self-introspection and by having a calm and tranquil mind. Didn't we talk about that already? Right? And self-introspection. So remember, right? Holy teachers say, if you really do self-introspection well, you will see your own Buddha nature. When you do that, when you achieve that, when you're at that level, guess what? Your Buddha nature wisdom, your Mahaprajna, they call it, okay, or marvelous wisdom will come out. And then that will help you to choose, to make a determination. Okay. All right. Okay. So, and that comes, let's see, where is it? Okay. That comes from returning to one's natural state. Yeah. That's what's the natural state? To be at one with your Buddha. And how do you get there? People say, oh yeah, I want to be there. I want to get there. Aha. And so this requires effort, actually. That's the Kung Fu. And that's hinted at by, there's many parts, but I don't have time to get into it, because have you heard the 3 non-alpha studies, the 三无漏学, Sanxue Buddhism? 1 is moral discipline, precepts. 2 is concentration. 3 is wisdom. Now, there's a sequence in here. Buddha said, why do we need moral discipline? Why do we need precepts? Why? Well, first of all, remember to control all the 3 poisons: the rage, the ego, arrogance, wrong views, all that stuff. Wrong thoughts, improper thoughts. That's what this does to you. It tells you now. A lot of it is like, it's like, handed to you. Okay, so you must do 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. That type of stuff. Okay, but there's a reason for that. Okay, because these are time-honored, time-tested, if you will. Precepts or rules, if you will. Okay. Now, that's not to say some rules may not, be appropriate. That could be true. Okay. But in general, especially about discipline, about controlling your thoughts, or about, self-control, restraint, that type of thing. Okay. So you have to have this, because then that will make sure that you don't have the wrong thoughts. You don't have the wrong kind of thoughts. Okay. You don't have the wrong views and all that. And then that will lead you, next step, to have a calm. Remember I say, have a calm and tranquil mind. That's what that is. That's what ding is. Well, people use and there's more specific. Ding is very broad. Dhyana is very broad. There's more narrower, more like samadhi, sanmei, or canding. All that. That's a little samadhi is canding. Okay, that or sanmei. That's a little bit higher level. But that means you will reach the level. That's like what the highest level of self introspection, 三省 will bring you, or 自省. Okay, sorry, 自省. Okay, it's what level. So when you're at that level, your mind is totally calm. And that's how you get clarity. That's how you get clarity. That's how you get this clarity. Your mind, not your mind, actually. Yeah, you can, let's just say your mind, because that's, it's totally clear. We say bright, clear. There's no doubts, no nothing. I mean, no. And that's what this will bring you. And then what happens after that? Wisdom comes about. Get it? So this is not book learning wisdom, okay? This is the wisdom from the clarity of our Buddha nature, of attaining to that state of the clarity of Buddha nature. Get it? So that's how we gain wisdom. Yeah, I want to get wisdom. Yeah, well, you got to do this. All right? Okay? All right. So goodness is true goodness without one's own self-interest. That's the other part about what's the good, the holding on, right? Something that choosing what is good now, right? Okay, so good, it's this. It's to not have consideration of oneself, but only of others. Okay, even as far as to self-sacrifice. But that's that's to that. And then to hold fast. What's to hold fast? When we say to hold fast, it's the concrete expression of courage, despite numerous tests, trials, challenges, obstacles, God knows what. You never retreat from one's aspiration. Okay, all right, from that path. Okay, so that's now. I'm only on C. Okay, 15 minutes. I'm going to go very quick. Okay, so cultivating of Tao requires highlighting some good people's good points, but not their faults. Yeah, I mean this should be, well, this is basically how to deal with people. Okay, so from an external, human affair, this is the way of forbearance. That's the key. Okay, that when we talk about the 6 parameters, the second one, when someone is at fault, we need to put ourselves in their shoes. Yeah, that's okay. That's another idiom right here. To give them some space, some latitude, some leeway. And we most definitely do not point out their faults in front of everyone. Because then that means you're humiliating them. You're embarrassing them. Okay. This will cause resentment and embarrassment and humiliation. So even as far trigger negative or evil thoughts on the wrong person, right? So we got to be careful. So this is basically another positive way. Remember, we're talking about positive attitude. So this is another way. Okay, we don't just talk about their negatives. Okay, I mean, now we do bring this up to that person, but only privately. Okay, privately. All right. So that's okay. All right. So now, from the perspective of self-cultivating one's self-nature or true nature, that is to get rid of evil thoughts. Remember, the trash thoughts, evil thoughts, to develop our virtuous nature, to really to express that. Okay, because our virtuous nature is our Buddha nature, and that's you want to express that, have it come out. Okay, so this is to develop one's nature to the fullest extent. Now, after entering this material world, it is unavoidable, right, that selfish desires cover up our true nature. That's what we call 众生 sentient beings, or 凡人, whatever. Okay, so we must control oneself and observe proprieties. Remember, to the rule precepts, that's what it is. Okay, proprieties are part of precepts. Okay, all right. So to let the true master be in charge, to let the spiritual brightness of the original nature bestowed by heaven be completely displayed. Okay, that is our virtuous nature. Okay? That's the foundation of our cultivation of Tao. Okay, so that's what. Where's my mouse? Okay, all right. Okay, so then number 4. Wow. Okay, cultivating Tao requires the ability to bring about values. Okay, ethical, moral values. Okay, to bring out to put into practice, to show it. Okay, put in practice. Okay, so the value of life does not depend on how long or short life is. Okay, but depends on how in one's remaining years, how one lived truly, how one lived virtuously, sorry, I made a mistake right here. How one lived with satisfaction, okay, or contentment. That's a better way, okay. Chapter 46, Dao De Jing, okay, because the greatest wealth is contentment, is satisfaction. Okay, anyway, the greatest satisfaction is satisfaction. Okay, so how from within a short duration one strives for eternity, how from the ordinary seeks something wonderful. That's the true meaning of life. Okay, so I don't want to go into it. There's a lot you can talk about it, but anyway, okay. So Lao Tzu said on chapter 33, the Dao De Jing, he said, this is the last sentence. Those who do not lose their base endure. Those who die but do not perish. Those who die but do not perish have longevity. Really, what that base means is it means the Tao. As long as you have the Tao, if you follow the Tao, okay, they will endure. You will endure, right? You can face all difficulties. Now, those who die means it's those who die. The first die, this die means physical death, okay, but do not perish. The second perish means to die too, means our spiritualness, our Buddha nature does not die, right? It never dies. Then we have eternity, okay, longevity, eternity, okay. Anyway, all right. So there's more to it, but I don't have time to talk about it. But anyway, okay. So the fifth component, aspect of how, right? We're talking about how, right? How is is to have the ability to have a positive. Once again, right? I'm repeating, right? What Maitreya, right? What Maitreya does, right? This seems to view things positively. When people with an optimistic outlook see things, everything is positive. So one personally will feel very happy, right? If you are very optimistic, chances are, you'll be happy, right? That's what optimism will get. Now, on the other hand, people are with pessimistic outlook sees everything as negative and gloomy. Isn't that true? So the results, they're going to feel lousy. They're going to feel sad. They're going to feel sorrow all the time, right? That's a bad way of living, right? Okay, that's a bad outlook on life. Okay, now it's true. Maybe there's no hope for some people. Let's say they have cancer. They know they have cancer. Okay, and their lives are very short. But that does not mean. So that just means the reality hits home. That okay, my life, instead of living 100 years, I'm going to live maybe 30 years. But the question then is, how do you transform that negative reality, right? It's a pessimistic reality, right? Because you're going to die early, into a positive and optimistic one. That's the key. That's the challenge. That's why we need to have a outlook on life of a Tao cultivator. Okay, because then you can. I said, ultimately, the highest level, you can change your destiny. That's true. Okay, that's true. Okay, that's true. And there's some examples. Okay, some living examples. Okay, but at least you can transform your state of mind, and at least live out your years with meaning. Okay, instead of just bedridden and being sad and gloomy all day. You get it? Okay. All right. Okay. So if one is optimistic, whatever hope there is, one will still possess a portion of that hope. So one will always be full of hope. Okay. And one will make positive efforts, forging ahead courageously, because you still have hope. There's still hope. That one, no matter how small, there's still hope. Okay. Now, for a pessimistic person, one who has lost that portion or big portion or chunk of hope forever, so one will lose hope and be discouraged, even to the extent one's able to pull oneself to get the act together. Okay, all right, okay, so no need to go there. So then this is a very important point for Tao cultivation, okay, is to have a spirit of positivity and optimism, always facing the promising happy side, to view and deal with people, affairs, and objects. Yeah, it's not easy, but we have to learn. That's really what Maitreya is saying. Okay, the way of Maitreya. Okay, all right, so that's it. All right, okay, all right. Now, F, that's the sixth one. Okay, I'm almost out of time. Okay, sorry. Okay, requires the ability to be selfless and be at one with others. There are two levels. One is that being physically, say, we work together, we are united, right? Like the Sangha, the Tao community. And that's the tangible. The intangible side is that we are all have the same Buddha nature. Okay. All right. So it's to be selfless, to be non-selfish, sharing joy with all being. Being at one is to realize that all original nature is same, to regard the suffering of all sentient beings as one's own suffering. That's the Bodhisattva level. Okay. To regard suffering of all as one's own suffering. Okay. To achieve loving kindness without cause, the great compassion of all as one. This method is truly the practice of Bodhisattva. Okay. So number 8, cultivating Tao requires the ability to give joy and happiness. Now there's a saying, okay, there's only dedication or devotion without requiring a sense of loving kindness. You don't need, or affection. You don't need to have that in order to, it's like unconditional love. So you're devoted like the parents are to their child, rearing their child. It's just so, it's because you're a parent. That's very simple. Okay, you have a child. Okay, you have to be devoted to rearing them up. Okay, etc., etc. All right. Okay. Same thing with filial piety. All right. Okay. You have to love, care for your parents. Now we all say, oh, because they're parents or they're your children. Okay. The highest level, you do it because that's it. That's natural. That's natural. Remember I said about payback for that gratitude? That's what it is. It's that expression. Filial piety, in a sense, is that expression of requiting the grace of raising us up by our parents, right? Okay, all right. So that's just too much. I'm sorry. It's going to take. There's only sacrifice of one's only parent without a sense of compassion of oneself. You don't self-pity in order to sacrifice yourself, your personal interest. No. You do it because it's the right thing. Well, I said the right thing. That's another reason, but it's just natural. It's natural. Because why? Because we're all at one. Remember, we're all the same. We're all one. So remember, their suffering is like your suffering. Their joy is your joy. Okay, etc., etc. Their achievement is your achievement. All right. Their failure is your failure. Okay. All right. So there's only duty, obligation, without a sense of joy or delight of power and wealth. Some people love power and wealth, right? So they like to, yeah. I can take this on because I like this power. I can order people to do whatever to do. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. I don't mind this obligation duty. But you know what? I can order people. No, that's not right. Okay. You do it. You do it because you just want to help others or whatever. Okay. No reason. You just do it because it's there. Okay, it's there. Okay, because now there's only giving out without possessing the sense of charity, equanimity, and grace. Okay. Now I highlighted. There's a reason why I highlight these red letters, these red characters. It's because those are the 4 immeasurable minds. Okay, which it's a higher level class. I mean, you can talk about later. But anyway, okay, so that's a different set. Okay, so Holy Teacher said, but there's one type of joy. There are many joys. There are many types of joys in this world, but there's only one that's limitless. Yeah, there's only one that's limitless. And what is that? To relinquish oneself for others. I mean, that's the direct translation, but it means be selfless and serve other people. That's okay. Now we come some. Okay, I'm gonna skip the first 4 because that's basically what we talked about. Let's do, since I only have 3 minutes, I'm gonna time it. So here's the conclusion. It's this. I'll leave you with this. With what Holy Teachers encourage, words of encouragement to Tao cultivator. I mean, he's saying to Qianxian, to the worthies. Basically, we're Tao cultivators. All Tao cultivators are worthies anyway. Okay, anyway. All right. So 1, use a mind of loving compassion to transform sentient beings. Okay, yeah. So that's one of the first, it's really the first and second immeasurable mind. Okay, use a mind of responsibility to complete one's mission. Take ownership, right? Take ownership. Okay, but you don't have to boss people around. Okay, you're just responsible for completing. Now, there's mission is could be many, like your vows, etc., etc. All right, okay, they could be personal, or they could be collective. Okay, anyway, use a mind of modesty. That's humility to nurture one's virtuous nature. You need humility. Okay, you need modesty to be able to have virtuous nature. Otherwise, it's called arrogance, pride, right? Prejudice, okay, all that stuff, okay? You use a mind of faith. You have to have a sense of belief, okay, to affirm yourself. You have to be confident. You have to have self-confidence. You have to be faith. You have to have faith in this Tao, in yourself, actually, in your Buddha nature. I mean, that's the ultimately, okay, all right, okay? To affirm yourself. That means to realize that you, therefore, can do anything. you want. Okay, all right, all right. To affirm that, to confirm, not to negate, not to say, oh, I'm nothing or that. None of that. Okay, not that. Then that's negative. Okay, use a mind of sincerity to treat all living things, not just human. Okay, that includes sentient beings, animals. Okay, sincerity. You have to be very sincere, very grateful too, actually. Okay, but anyway, then use a mind of joyful relinquishment or equanimity. Okay, to help other people. All right, not that only for self-interest, but because hey, we're all the same. We're in the same boat. Okay, et cetera, right? Your suffering is my suffering, all that stuff. Okay, use a mind of magnanimity to show tolerance for everything. That's what Maitreya is like, right? Maitreya. Oh, I mean, he's other things too. He's joyful and all that stuff. Okay, but anyway, use a mind of right? His tolerance, his big belly, right? Laughing away all the troubles or worries of the world now and then. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Anyway, okay, so I'm sorry, I just hit the 9 o'clock mark. So here it is. Wishing every worthy, all thou cultivator, all holy and mundane matters are according to one's wishes. All wishes come true, always maintaining good health. Okay, if I have said anything wrong, this concludes this class. If I have said anything wrong, incorrectly, improperly, unsatisfactorily, I ask for the Buddha, sages, and everyone's transmitters, lecturers, everyone's correction and guidance. Okay, thank you very much.